So if you now go to the book of Job, Job chapter 5, you will now see something strange. The Lord started introducing to us in verse 12. He said, He frustrates the devices and schemes of who? Of the crafty, so that their hands cannot attain success or achieve anything of lasting worth. In the daytime, they meet in where? So what it means is that even in the daytime, they look for an exclusive place and they stay to carry out their wickedness. You cannot afford to become lazy before the devil. The Bible says, do not be ignorant of the devices of the enemies. You can't afford to just overlook and watch the devil playing over your life. Because while you are trying to do those things, a man educated, this one, it was Apostle Tanner that was telling me. He said, an educated man, he went to school. In fact, he came back from the state. He had everything for his contract. It was ready for him. And he came to a place. And then one Muslim old man also showed up. And when they entered, he looked at the Muslim man. That thing made me to remember Peter Obi and Tinubu. He said the old man turned and looked at him and smiled. And then at the point, the guy was not comfortable. He said, Baba, why are you looking at me smiling like that? Then the man replied him in a very quack English. He said, it's not by wearing title. So he told him, oh, one-on-one, it's not by wearing title. That guy did not know that the man was only standing there, but spiritually, people were hosting him in the realms of the spirit. He brought people who stood behind and found a toilet, and they entered. All of those people, they stayed there and they were counting their JP, making incantation. So when they stood, they now came to the boy. The guy said, we don't understand this thing that you have written. The man that they've already given everything. We don't understand this thing that you have written. He said, this Baba is more qualified than you. And the man looked at him and laughed. He said, didn't I tell you? Only for him to come and then he realized that the man was coming, his cohorts were coming out from the place. And they were, you see, you think that the world is natural. Things are not just happening. Those who understood the ways of this earth, they have taken advantage of it. The Bible says, lead them to grow together. Sir, should we go and uproot them? He said, no. Together by their fruit we shall know them. So a native doctor is meant to thrive on earth. You can have a native doctor as your neighbor, and you are this place. If you give him advantage, he will rule over you. He said, and at noon, they grope as in the night. When you want to turn the shape of the earth, it is at noon. The Bible says Jesus was walking, he said, I am hungry. And the disciples didn't understand. So they went into the villages to look for food. And when it was 12, Jesus appeared by the well and stood, and the Samaritan woman came to draw water. And he began to speak to her of the water that flowed from inside. Because he understood that through this, in this window, if we intercede, the Gentiles will turn to Christ. And through that woman, the Gentiles were born again. A man that understood how to change the shape of the earth. At noon. At noon. Look what happened to Peter and Obi and Tinubu. When people were shouting that Peter Obi had won, what did Tinubu come out and say? They say, sir, what can you say? He said, it's my turn, it's my time. He said, I will be the president of Nigeria. We laughed. Only 3 to 6 hours. And everything changed. Today he's the president. The second time. I would have believed it. I personally didn't believe it. I was looking at the man, the way he was walking. I said, Nigeria cannot be daft to do this. And then I realized the book of Ecclesiastes. He said, I have gone everywhere on earth. And I realized that the race is not unto the strong, neither is it unto the swift, but to the one the Lord showed mercy. It is not because you are strong and physically looking